Hello, it's Alicia, and this is episode 3 of my haunted experience on Craig Road. So, I'm gonna kind of go back a little bit. I realized in the very first episode I had said that I moved in the house in 2000, and I realized that I said that it was the wrong year. I moved in 2001 because it was the same year that I had my daughter. I don't know why I completely bombed that, but yeah, so just wanted to kind of put that out there so it makes sense. But anyways, I know I left you guys kind of hanging the last episode of when I had said that something had grabbed my foot, so we're gonna start off from there. So something grabbed my foot and pulled me down, and after that the whole room just went really cold and things just got chaotic. I had some stuff up on shelves in my room, and those flew off, and I had stuff on the dresser that just kind of went everywhere. And it, like I said, it was chaos, and there's just so much going on, and I'm laying there and I'm frozen and I don't know what to do. So the only thing I can think of is to just try to run as fast as I could. So I run out of the house, and I had the phone with me, and I tried calling my dad, and I couldn't get a hold of him because I wanted him to come get me, and I wasn't able to really get a hold of anyone. So I ended up calling one of my friends, and luckily she answered and she came and got me, and I went back to her house and stayed there. I really didn't want to go back to the house for ever, because that just was enough to freak me out. I've never seen stuff move. So that was, I don't want to say I've never seen stuff move. I've never seen stuff being thrown. And, that just, it was insane. So I didn't want to go back. But of course, my mom, I was a minor, I was 17, so I had to. And when I went back and I sat down and I talked to my mom and I explained everything, and I had told her, I said, there is something really wrong with this house. And she said, okay, Alicia, so say there is something wrong with the house. What am I supposed to do about it? I don't know. Well, let's move. And she's like, I can't move because I have all my money, everything is sunk in this house. I cannot move. And she's like, if there is something here, maybe they're just, going after you because they know that they can scare you. She was like, I'm not scared about it. So maybe that's the reason why they don't come after me. And she's like, so maybe you should, toughen up and not be a fraidy cat. I ended up taking her advice, and I ended up taking her advice, and I decided to act like it didn't faze me, to not show that I was fearful or to panic in that house. So, and little things that happened, and I just kind of shrugged them off. Or if I felt like I was going to panic or something really scared me, I just try to calmly make an excuse and maybe take my dog outside just to get out of the house. But this was a couple weeks after the incident with something grabbing my foot and the chaos in my room. I was in the living room watching TV, and my stepdad was in the kitchen, and it was a pretty, calm day, nothing really eventful. And I was sitting there eating pork rinds, and I heard my stepdad all of a sudden just go, pardon my language, but what the fuck? And I thought maybe he dropped something or hurt himself or whatever. And he yelled and he said, Alicia, come here. And I go in there, and he's just standing there, and he's in shock. And I'm like, what's going on? And he said that, the decoration, we had a little centerpiece on we had a round kitchen table, and then we had a dining room in the dining room. But anyways, on the kitchen table was a little round centerpiece. And he said the centerpiece, he said, literally moved on its own. And I'm standing there, and in my mind, I'm thinking, haha, finally, something's happened to someone else, and it's not just me. So I just tell him, I said, come with me, So we go outside, and I told him, I said, just don't, I said, I'm trying to take mom's advice to not freak out, to not show any type of, any fear. I said, and hopefully maybe these spirits will see that, if we're not scared, then there's no point in doing things. And I said, so far, it seems like it's kind of working. At least it is for me. So things were pretty quiet in the house, like for a while. It was a good, probably 3-4 months that nothing crazy had happened. Again, like I had seen little things, or I heard footsteps, just little stuff that is not really, I kind of learned to just not freak out about and to just deal with and just live with. But in my mind, I'm thinking everything is going good, it's working. I had my daughter, and she was probably, she was almost a month old, because this was probably about a week before 9/11. And I'm in the bedroom, and she's still sleeping. It's probably about, I don't know, probably like 5:30 in the morning, maybe. It might have been like 6, because it was not like super dark out, but it was starting to get light. And so I'm laying there, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, she's going to be getting up soon. Like, I might as well just mentally prepare myself to get ready for the day. And as I'm laying there, I hear footsteps. And a part of me at this point, like, I had thought maybe it was my mom or my stepdad, and because they were home. But then they stopped, like, right at my door. So I didn't want to get up and, like, go out there and risk waking my daughter up, because, when you have a newborn, those just few extra minutes of sleep is so precious. And so I just kind of just continue to lay there, and I'm thinking, like, please don't walk in here. Please don't walk in here. And the door opens. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And I look over, and no one's there. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, why would they just open my door and then just walk away? And then all of a sudden, my daughter's entire crib just shakes. And then she just starts, like, screaming. I get up, I grab her, and I run downstairs. And my mom is like, what is going on up there? And I said, something just opened my door. And I said, and it just shook Caitlin's crib. And I said, I'm telling you, this stuff needs to go. Like, we've got to go. You need to do something, or I'm leaving. I said, I am not going to sit here, and I'm not going to put my daughter in any harm. I do not want my daughter being raised in this house. I had no idea where to get sage from. But my one friend, she had said that she would, try to figure it out for me. It was hard for me to do a lot, with just having a baby and, trying to take care of her. So my friend, being the nice person that she is, decided to take it in her own hands and go find me some. So it was probably about a week later, she ended up coming across and finding some and brought it over to me. And she said, well, here, let me help you do it. And I said, no. I said, if you could, please just take my daughter out and take her out of the house while I'm doing it, because I really don't want her inside. And I'm really glad that I had my friend take her out, because I started off in the mudroom, and I went into the kitchen, and everything is going good. I go into the dining room, I go into the living room, I go into what they call a parlor room, because like I said, this is an old house, so I'm assuming that's just where they sat and had some tea. I don't know, but it's called a parlor room. I get into the hallway, and like, I'm facing, here's the front, I'm standing right here is the little bathroom that I was telling you guys about, that's really tiny. And then there's a doorway, like a entryway this way that goes into the parlor room. front door's right in front of me, and then you go around this way and you go up, that's the steps. So I'm standing in the hallway and I'm right by the little bathroom, and I'm, you know, walking through real slow, and all of a sudden, like, something comes like hauling ass down the steps and then smacks into the wall. And initially I stand there and I freeze, and I look over, and then next thing you know, something else comes down, and something was throwing shoes. There was like a set of keys that came flying down, and at that point I'm thinking like, all right, do I continue to go, or do I just back around and just go back out of the house? So me, you know, being the little scaredy cat that I am, I decided to just go back out. So I go back outside and I explain what was going on, and my friend was like, I think you need to call this lady back, or you need to, you know, find a way to convince your mom to let this stuff be done. She was like, because obviously whatever is here is not happy. So it was later in the evening, same night. I'm upstairs in bed laying down. My daughter's in her crib. My mom and stepdad were gone. And I'm laying in bed just watching TV, and I hear what sounds like a very, like a hum, like a vibration, like it's more like a hum. And I'm laying there and I'm trying to think, you know, like, where is that coming from? Because it was almost like it was like in the house, like in the walls. But so I look outside, I didn't see anything. Then I sit there and I think to myself, okay, well, maybe it's a train, because there was train tracks that, you know, wasn't very far from the house. So I kind of just shrugged it off as there was a train coming, but then it just abruptly stopped. And I'm thinking, okay, like, you know, if that was a train, like, it wouldn't just abruptly stop. So then I'm, you know, my anxiety's starting to get to me a little bit, and I'm, you know, kind of starting to freak out a little bit. And then, you know, all of a sudden, like, that humming noise, like, it came back, but it was like a little bit stronger, and it was to the point to where it was almost like I could feel it. And next thing you know, I had like this little music box, jewelry / box, whatever, you know, like the little boxes that you can open up, has a little ballerina and it plays music, but you can store your jewelry. Next thing you know, that comes flying off my dresser, and my mirror just cracks. If you want to find out more about what happened after that last incident with the mirror cracking, stay tuned and look for our new episode next Wednesday. I'll be posting these new videos every Wednesday on my YouTube and on my Instagram TV. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks.